In a significant development, the Supreme Court has ordered an independent probe into the violence during the student protest at Delhi Jantar Mantar. Supreme Court observed that the allegations against both the police and protesters require a fair investigation. Now, the court has constituted a special investigation team or SIT to examine the incidents that unfolded during the protest. While doing so, the Chief Justice of India made it clear that any investigation would be meaningless unless responsibility is fixed on those found guilty. Now, the Chief Justice observed that the material placed before the court raises serious concerns. These include allegations of the use of pellet guns and reportedly injured a young boy, the use of electric batons that led to the life-threatening injuries, attacks on video journalists, the alleged slapping of a woman by a police officer, and allegations of molestation by police personnel. Now, the court has taken a note of an allegation that a police officer in civil dress was also assaulted. Now, the Chief Justice said that the protest was peaceful, with students raising demands that are constitutionally protected. Now, at the same time, the court also noted complaints from police personnel and their families who alleged that the individuals with their own agenda entered the protest and attempted to take control of the movement. Now, the Chief Justice questioned why there should be an independent probe into all these allegations instead of looking at only one side of events. Now, the court also underlined the need for clear protocols governing police action during public protests. The Chief Justice said that such protocols are essential in a democracy, adding that once comprehensive guidelines are in place, anyone who takes the law into their own hands, whether protesters or law enforcement officials, can be held accountable. Now, the Supreme Court also stressed that the need to develop an emergency response mechanism that can be activated immediately whenever such situations arise, signaling that the case should shape future guidelines on policing protests across the country. Now, for more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Brijesh, who joins us live from the newsroom. Brijesh, there were two aspects to this. One was the violence that the police excesses, as it was called. You have the protesters raising that as well. Meanwhile, there have been families from the injured policemen who have raised a question about protection for the police and proper execution of the law, and also some kind of methodology to address that there are antisocial elements who had infiltrated that protest. So this all has come in front of the Supreme Court, and now an SIT has been put in place, and looks like this SIT will be looking at this protest very carefully, especially on these allegations.
Well, I think, what the Supreme Court has said is something which has to be taken in record, given the fact that there was a widespread condemnation about the brutal lathi charge and excessive use of force by law enforcement agencies. The fact of the matter is that, there's a batch of petitions which were produced before the Honorable Chief Justice of India, and it was argued by several senior advocates about the kind of disproportionate force which was used there, something which shouldn't have done in the first place on the peaceful protesters. There were talk about how one Junaid, who was supplying food, was picked up and taken blindfolded to Missouri and was dumped there. There was also talk about usage of pellet gun, which is normally not used in this kind of situation. There was also talk about violence which have taken in other states as well. The state of Bihar, where a policeman started opened fire with an AK-47 in his hand, and to which the Bihar State Council immediately responded by saying that the said constable has been suspended by the Bihar government. So, the lawyers who are appearing for the students and various other parties, they made it very clear that there is a need for a law, a systematic upgradation of 2018 law, which should catch up with the situation which has arisen into 2026. The Chief Justice of India accepted that yes, the law was peaceful, the protest was peaceful, and the law will catch up with those anybody who has violated it. There was also a mention of a woman protester who was unnecessarily slapped by a senior ADCP, who was later on removed from the spot. But that act has also been recorded. The court has also asked for all the digital recordings to be preserved. The Solicitor General, who was appearing only for the state of India, for the Indian Union and state of Haryana, he said that yes, But he also said that, we should also factor in the version of the police family men of police officers, who have also filed a batch of petition saying that action should be taken against all of those who have indulged in vandalism, who have taken law into their own hand. And he also went on to say that, that there have been several habitual offenders who have infiltrated this particular peaceful protest, and they are the one who have assaulted. And he gave a virtual clean sheet to the students who were protesting there by saying that I refuse to believe that the students will be indulging in this kind of act. So it is going to be very, very interesting to see how the Supreme Court of India decides to take the next step. The senior advocates who have filed a batch of petition, they all are saying that nothing less than a retired Chief Justice of India would be good for the cause which has been raised before the Supreme Court of India.
Well, interestingly enough, in this, Brijesh, you hear what the Chief Justice is also trying to say, that he is saying that there should be a rules-based kind of a protesting system. He's in fact saying that so that the law enforcement agency knows when to take action and and excesses like this. So probably he's talking about, a site for protest being declared so that whoever has to go ahead and protest away from the city, they can go and protest there. Then if they come out of it, there's the rules that if they in fact break those rules, then action can be taken and not a random kind of action that can be taken. So probably he's looking at this SIT also might further look at setting those rules as well.
They may, Varghese, they may look into a series of rules which will govern how the protest is going to take place. But the fact of the matter is that, that the bigger issue right here before the apex court is about the kind of dastardly fashion in which the Delhi police opened lathi charge, brutal lathi charging the students. That video of, an additional DCP going ahead, a senior additional DCP going ahead and slapping a women protester without any provocation. RAF, now we know that on the direction of a Deputy Commissioner of Police, which is an IPS rank, opening a pellet gun on protesting students, and we all saw the visuals of how a policeman in Bihar opened fire at the protesting students with an AK-47. It's an assault rifle. So the fact of the matter is that you can make the laws, you can make rules and all, and make sure that it's implemented. But the fact of the matter is that all these excesses which we are talking about deserves to be noticed, and all of these officers who are behind that, not constables and all who are merely carrying out orders from their superiors, all the senior police officers who are involved behind this, this unwanted and excessive use of force, which may lead to a loss of life, or at least, in one particular case, one person has suffered a big loss of vision as far as one eye is concerned. They should be they should be taken into account, and there should be exemplary punishment for them, so that the police always remembers that, that whenever they are allowed to use this kind of force only when the situation goes completely out of hand.
Well, thank you, Brijesh, for in fact giving us all those details.